2 in the 2021-22 calendar for Zwift Racing League. Josh McClellan with me, as always, in the commentary box, covering the APAC region and giving you all the first insider's look at racing in the Community League. So, how you doing tonight, Josh?
I've got goosebumps, Adam. It's exciting to be back. Honestly, look at this. I've got goosebumps, mate. I'm really excited to be back.
Tuesday night, race night. It's back.
Tuesday night race fight is back. It's a very, very good feeling.
Yeah, well,
world that's going on down here in Australia, we're all just walking around on eggshells. We've got a bit of normality back with Zwift Racing League. How good is that?
That's it. No COVID in Autopia or Neokyo where we are tonight.
Yeah.
No stopping this race league whatsoever. It's going to be fantastic. So those that have been with us on the last couple of seasons will recognise some of these names. We thought we'd just jump in with the B-grade APACers again because we know them pretty well. We know they put on a good show, and definitely not going to be any opportunity to jump around different grades tonight, Josh. We have about a half-hour race, like 25 Ks, and 5 intermediates to chase here, 4 sprints followed by a KOM. So this is going to be hectic, to say the least.
So I'm racing tomorrow morning, and the team AHDR Cake Crusaders, we've done a couple of recon races together over the weekend, and it was full on. And we've got a couple of new races, and I've given them a heads up. They're new to Zwift Racing. I said, if you thought that was full on, it's going to be even more on Wednesday morning. Like, we are talking 5 watts, just 5 watts per kilo, just to hold the bunch in the first 3 Ks to the first sprint, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember us debating, I think it was that crazy first sprint around France last season and what that was going to be like. And as the races head off now, you know, what was that start going to be like? And it ended up being, I think, like 8 to 10 watts a kilo for the first minute and a half just to hold on to the field. It was mental. So expecting a bit more of this tonight. And what are your thoughts on Neokyo, actually? Have you done much racing and riding around here? Are you enjoying it?
I am, actually. I've been doing a lot in the last probably a couple of weeks. Early when the schedule got announced, I jumped in to start doing some early race recon for ZRL. But I've been enjoying. Like, I've got no idea where I am at really any point in time, but I like it. I like riding around there. I actually did about an hour workout through there this morning, and I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. I've been loving it. It almost feels criminal to race Neokyo with the heads-up display on because you just miss so much of the detail. There's just so much going on in this crazy city that Zwift have put together. So I've been loving it. I think the sprints are great. You know, tight alleyways and high speeds and sharp corners are great fun. You know, you can't sort of see what's coming up a lot of the time, so you do need to know the course. And I think we'll see that at the end tonight. This is one of my favourite finishes, I think, because you go through that twisty arcade about 800 meters from the finish, which is just ideal for a long range effort because it's so hard to see where everyone is with all the corners and the lights and everything going off. So I mean, every race that I've done in that finish has absolutely kicked off through the arcade, and then it spits you out with about 300, 400 meters to go. So you kind of got to be.
That's the thing. There's still such a long way to go. So anything can happen. And I think there's the races that know the course well will be able to, if they can hold their nerve and not react to those early attacks. As quite often, in the race that we did on Sunday morning, it was, we got swamped on the line. I actually went with Daniel Wells from AHDR, that we know well.
He would have gone long, for sure.
He went long. So there was someone went early. Daniel responded. I responded to Daniel and thought, well, if Daniel's going, I'm going. And then we got caught on the line. I finished in 12.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could see a bit of action here tonight. And hello to those in the chat. I can see some familiar names. Chris O'Halloran and Cam Napper have jumped in to say hello and wish the race as well. So good to see you guys back with us for another fun season of the Zwift Racing League. So a few familiar faces here. If you watched us previous seasons in this in this grade, in this time zone, APAC B. So the WMZBs are back. They were our big winners last season. AHDR have 2 teams in here. Aero are new to B1, I think. So we've got Aero Press and Aerodynamics in here. The Z Sundries are back again. We love seeing the Z Sun team, Z Sun team. And Vision are back again, who really caused some upsets last season. I remember them being very hard to track, Josh, because they weren't the jerseys sort of didn't really stand out, but they always just seemed to sneak in and snap up a lot of points. So expecting very competitive race here again tonight.
So a bit of chat in the actual race itself. Martin Ham calling out a neutral start in the race itself. So the first sprint doesn't start until the 3K mark. And it looks like things have settled down. Riders are sitting around that 2.5 watts per kilo. And it does look like everyone's just saving as much energy or legs as possible, as many matches. We should see some fireworks, I guess, on this first sprint coming up.
Yeah, well, a bit of a smaller field than we might have seen previously. Only 56 races tonight, so that might be taking a little bit of pressure off. You can sort of sit at the back without being too far off the front of the peloton. So we'll see how this shakes out as Andrew Bain from the AHDR Ballers throws the first punch of Zwift Racing League Season 2.
This is really, these sharp right-handers is really where you can actually catch a few riders out. The sprint does sort of sneak up on you. And we can see Sitsikov and Susko really pushing over here and going hard for this first sprint.
Yeah, it looks like Vision, big 1-2, and Jose from Aero coming in for third. Vision.
Another Vision with fourth as well with Benham.
Wow. I think it's Nicole Benham, who I believe I raced against last season, who, really threw a cat in amongst the pigeons, showed the men how it was done. Looks to be continuing that form again here, finishing fourth in that sprint. Wow, so
definitely strung out. Look at that, and then we do need to watch this little rise coming out of Castle Park that might catch a few people out.
Yeah, we're seeing some serious damage here from that first sprint. So much for the neutral start. That is well and truly over. There's open hostilities now around through Castle Park, and it looks like we've shelled a good 10-15 riders off the back here.
Yeah, some big gaps there, which aren't impossible on this course to make up. So that's okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We might see some coming back together for this group.
They did at the start, yeah.
If you hear 2, 3, 4 seconds off the back, we might see them able to clump together and chase back on, actually. Looks like a couple are going to be out the back and then will be done and dusted. But yeah, interesting to see here whether this group can come back together and sort of move up through the field. It does look like things have eased off now, so no one really going for the big counter attack to really try and stretch things here. We've got a nice big happy bunch again up the front.
And it's the next segment which is the big points are up for grabs. It's the fastest across the line and fastest through the segment as well. So anyone coming in that top sort of 3 places, big points up for grabs. Remembering it's 20 points for first, 15 for second, and 10 for third through fastest through the segment. And I have full expectation it's going to come from this bunch.
Absolutely. And sit in with this chasing group and see how they go. Trying to latch back on here. So, I mean, this next sprint is also the first in a series of 3 that come up very quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams play this one, whether it's all in on that first one and maybe some assigned riders going for the fastest sprint segment time, or whether we see, so maybe trying to conserve the KOM, like you mentioned, maybe some assigned riders whose job is not to chase points yet, but just hang on and then go for it up the KOM. And maybe
exactly where I was going to go in the conversation next, Adam. Are you going to give anything away for your race tonight?
I mean, me personally, I don't know if any of our competitors from A grade Atlantic B2 or A2 are watching. I seriously doubt that they are, but you can just look at my Zwift Power profile to know that I am racing up from B grade into A grade this season, so I'm severely outgunned. I will just be clinging on for survival. So Not
So
too
hang
much
on,
to give away
you're
there.
finally racing where you're supposed to race. Is that right?
No, I'm a firm,
No.
permanent B grader who's bravely racing up in A grade because I couldn't
You
find a
can
team in B.
sprint amongst the best A graders, mate. You're fine.
Actually, I had a look at the Zwift Power rankings for 15 second watts per kilo, and I think I was ranked 20th in a field of 50 odd. So any bonus points for me tonight would be, well, literally a bonus. I'm just here to have a good time, test myself a bit, and a bit of a different feeling from racing in the Bs, where obviously hoping to be at the pointy end, where the A's, it's anything's a bonus for me tonight. So.
Yeah. Good. Good, good, good.
But it does mean that we do have a big Zwiftaholics doubleheader tonight. So we've got obviously the race now, watching APAC, and then I'll be back on again in a couple of hours' time racing in Atlantic. And so I'll be on the Suffocam and my good friend David Lewis, who's also racing with me for Team Sisu actually in Atlantic. He'll be on his camera as well. So we're going to have dual Suffocams. David is an absolute gun racer. He firmly belongs in A, so he'll be up at the front of the race. You'll be able to see the front of the race on his camera. And then, whatever second, third, fourth group on the road I lob into on mine.
Very good. Now we're getting close to the next sprint, alleyway sprint. This looks like a really fun sprint, this one, because you come through the sort of market type area, I call it, and you do this sort of like wavy motion.
Dodge the pedestrians through the.
You dodge the pedestrians, and it was really fun doing this on Sunday when I raced it properly. It was like you could see everybody snaking through, and then it was all out through that alleyway. So this is where I think we'll see some big fireworks for those points. Remembering it's 30 points for who potentially takes out first through the segment and first over the line.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see some KG tactics, because often chasing that faster segment time, you want to be sprinting from the back of the bunch, whereas first across the line, obviously, you sort of want to be mixing it up the front, not letting yourself get too far back. So interesting to see how this sort of sprint plays out with, imagine some big sprinters will be pushing hard from the back of the field, chasing that fastest time, and maybe snaffling some first over the line points as well.
Yeah. So, I am mentioned earlier. I'm on tomorrow morning EMEA West, and we finished last season in 4th, so we're really gunning for a top 3 position this year, and we've gone all out with strategy and teamwork. So we're looking at a split in our team, which I'll talk a little bit more about that as we watch this sprint come through. But we've essentially assigned 3 riders for the first 3 segments, and then 3 riders for the last 2 segments and finish.
Yep, and things are kicking off. Looks like AHDR saving the legs on that first segment for an all-out team assault on the second segment. We have 3 AHDR jerseys up the front. Marty in first place, Laurent Doyen following him, Ilya following as well. So 1, 2, 3 AHDR ballers have absolutely shredded this sprint. As we see, the WMZB is coming through for 4th and 5th, but brilliantly executed team sprint there from the AHDR ballers. Looks like they got first, second, third across the line. We'll have to wait and see what happens on the time. It looks like maybe we might be seeing some A-grade times here on our screen. So hard to tell who picked up the points for faster sprint time in B grade, but some nice team tactics from AHDR, just sitting in, ignoring that first sprint, and then really bringing it home for the big point fastest segment time sprint.
So I think I am seeing A grade as well on Zwift Power, so not seeing that either.
As we head down through the twisty path of Castle Park now. So am I right, Josh, in saying that we've got another sprint coming up here through the banner in Castle Park?
700 meters right here. It's coming up really quickly. So this is, if you want to pick up some sneaky points, I know when we did a recon race, everyone just sat up and forgot about this sprint. And I actually managed to sort of like push ahead and go for it and got away really early, similar to what Manic is doing right now. Around these long sweeping bends, you can actually get away and sort of get forgotten about a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a nice little gap here. He's going to have to push on hard. It seemed like it was almost unintentional off the front. He was just sitting at 3.5 watts a kilo, about to be swept up by the peloton as they're going to come around and get their first glimpse at that banner, which is going to be around.
As we come around to the left here, and then it sweeps around to the right, and see that long sweeping sort of curve around to the right there. You can sort of, people sit up and don't realise, and you can maybe get away there for some sneaky points.
Yeah, well, it looks like Jose from Aero Press is going to go for those sneaky points. He's got an Aero and has got off on a nice little gap here. I don't think they're going to catch him. I think it's going to be 10 points here for Team Aero. He kicks on nicely as O'Reilly from WMZ Bumble and Todd from Dynamics, first time we've called their team name, filling the podium for that sprint. So really nice mix of points here, Josh, and names.
No AHDR riders at all in that top 10 there. Looks like they spent all their money on that last alleyway sprint, maybe going for those FTS and FAL points.
Absolutely.
But definitely not represented there. And we can see another little split in that group.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell, if you can see the little orange dots of the people I'm following on the mini-map, most of them are likely AHDR riders. They are split all over the road. Let's have a little jump through and see. So it looks like 21 riders or so off the, no, a few less, maybe top 20 group, and then a few of the names that we've called so far tonight sitting in second, including Laurent Doyen from the AHDR Ballers, and who else do we have represented? A few from WMZ, one rider from Aero, a couple from Cryogen as well in the second group on the road.
And Mike Bernardis from WMZs. He's I rode with him at Peaks last year.
There you go.
There you go. Good to see Mark. He had a terrible crash and broke his pelvis late last year, actually, or throughout the year, and good to see him back on the bike.
Absolutely, that's good effort, and yeah, and obviously doing well to be still in the mix here as this race has sort of fractured a little bit going through that third of the 4 sprints. So you can see our 4th sprint banner now just ahead as well. So a select group at the front, a couple of familiar names. Andy from WMZ still in amongst the mix. A few riders from Vision sort of assembling at the front, and maybe this is Vision strategy here. They went for the first sprint, sort of didn't see them after that, but it looks like another coordinated attack from Vision here, taking on the 4th and final sprint. Nicole Benham off the front with a teammate in tow, but it looks like it's going to be Ian Manick from WMZ coming through hard. We come around this corner, we've got Martin from Cryogen looking to take the points, and it looks like Martin is going to just get over the top for the 10. Ian Manick in second, and then a bevy of 3 Aero riders from Aero Press and Aerodynamics filling 3rd through 5th there. So another sprint, another team taking maximum points, Josh. We've had really interesting mix. So heading up now to the KOM.
I'm really surprised at this split that we see here. That was not what I was expecting. I'm fully expecting full bunch almost for A grade. I'm really surprised. I don't know, did you catch any of the Premier League? What happened in that?
No, I didn't see any of the Premier League.
No.
But yeah, I'm surprised that we got through the first sprint sort of more or less together, and then we saw this level of damage done through. Really, it was that second sprint, maybe just because of the length of it and races chasing that fastest segment time. Obviously, it was a sustained effort that really fractured the group, and they just didn't come back together through the 3rd and 4th shorter sprint. So that could be a watch point. That watch out for that second sprint. Make sure that if you want to be in the mix, make sure you're up the front there, because that is a long effort. And maybe save the legs on the first one, and then get through that second one, because there are points.
And that brings me back to the team strategy that we've got. We've got 3 riders that are going all out in the sprints. And for someone like myself, where I can't go too deep in a sprint too often, I just don't have that high power that I can call on straight away. But I can push to hold on to that group and stay with that front bunch, and hopefully carry through to the final sprint, or the final, rooftop climb and finish line.
Yeah, so heading now onto this little ramp, which is kind of before the KOM, but kind of the first attack point for the climbers, you might say, and it's really been a pressure point on the races I've done here. And we've got a familiar antagonist, Annie from WMZ, off the front, attacking early and looking to stretch the group up this ramp and maybe just sort of set up her team for a tilt at that KOM.
She goes again. 6-7 watts per kilo, no dramas. And comment on, excuse me, comment on the chat. Rob's mentioned that thinks Tron is the way to go. I agree, Rob. I'm going to go Tron.
Yeah, it does look like a very popular choice. Very colourful peloton here tonight. They look good in the Neokyo night setting as well, the Trons.
Neokyo, you have to go Tron, right?
Maybe you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, nice little gap here. Remaining, the riders let it go. She's opened up 11 seconds here with a little bit of riding left to do before we get to the base of the KOM proper. A couple of little rollers to come here, but yeah, maybe looking to just sneak away here and steal it.
And look, it's really, the rooftop climb really is not that hard to stay away either. There's those, about those 4 short ramps and then, but plenty of little time in between just to sort of spin the legs for a second and get ready to go for that next one.
Actually, it's my kind of climb. It's a punch and spin kind of climb.
Yeah. I adopted your technique when I have raced this so far. Consciously hit each ramp, drop that gear back, spun it a little bit, and then went again.
Nice. Well, we've learnt something through our time together, Josh. That's good to see.
That's it. Yes, that's it. I still think sometimes you spin too high. There's more power to be given there.
Yeah, if I need the power, I'll drop it down.
That comes under your strategy of sandbagging in B grade.
I think we're going to see why I race in B grade tonight as I try and hold on to these A grade Watt monsters. If I can hold on through the sprint, I'm certainly going to get popped here on this KOM. As this group starts to work on Annie's advantage, so we get out to 10 or 11 seconds. Must be another season of chasing Annie, says Cam Jose from Team Aero. Yep, good call, Cam. If you're watching or you watch the replay, we saw it time and time again. In Season 1, Annie from WMZ just going on the attack, not afraid to have a go and really put some time into riders, particularly up there. I remember the Petite KOM. Annie was a true antagonist.
Oh, just, yeah. When e-bike Annie, she's being called. Love it.
Okay. No, you could be forgiven for thinking she had the mechanical assistance. The way that she disappears up these climbs. Absolutely. And so we sort of had a good chat in on one of the YouTube comments, I think, with some of her teammates. She's a bit of a legend in the local racing scene in Sydney. Is Annie, and not afraid to be the aggressor. So yeah, once again, this the peloton find themselves chasing Annie down, but looking like they're going to be successful here before we do hit the base of the KOM proper.
And so interestingly, we did go through that little banner then, which isn't part of any of the segments today. But I do think you pick up a power up on it, don't you?
Oh, I imagine you would, yeah. So
yeah. So there, there's sort of power ups aplenty throughout Neokyo all nighter tonight and tomorrow. So I think from a power up point of view, don't be shy in holding on to a power up because there's a good chance you'll get another one and the one that you want.
Yeah, interesting play there. Bernardini's from WMZ just dropping the aero straight away on this flatter section. As we head up to the KOM, so obviously not happy with the power up there. Wanted a feather, or maybe to get away. If we have the feather, do we have the feather in play tonight? Josh, I haven't actually looked at the power ups in play.
I know that there's a burrito and an aero. We've seen that. I can bring it up.
Oh, no, I've got the truck. I've seen a few drafting trucks. Yeah. So
okay. Yep.
No feathers, no assistance whatsoever up the KOM. It's just pure leg power and a watts per kilo battle up the KOM tonight.
Have you thought of what those, not the trains that we're seeing on the road, but have you seen the other ones, the big wooden ones? What the hell are they?
I was just thinking this was probably my opportunity to take a proper look at them because I'm not riding, but I've missed it again, and for the life of me, no, I haven't got the foggiest. What the Zwift game designers are come up with there.
Everyone, have a look when you're racing over the next 24 hours, and I want to find out. I want to know what they are. What are they? There's these big round barrel looking things on this train. There's one early on when you just start, one goes across the screen. You're like, what is that?
Yeah, for the life of me, I haven't figured that out. All of my, I've done all the route badges, and I think it came up on some of the Zwift events recently as well. I still, for the life of me, can't figure out what they're trying to get at with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can see the KOM banner there on the mini map. It's always deceptive, this one, because it's a long way to go before you actually get there. We've got a very twisty, interesting climb. I actually love this climb. I think it's brilliantly designed. Going up the rooftops of Neokyo, I think it's really well done. So it'll be fun watching these races tackle this punchy climb as we hit the banner at the start of the segment here. Remember, we do have fastest segment time as well as first across the line on offer. So interesting to see how the strategy plays out.
Big points up for grabs again. We can see Annie really like being reeled back in, but then not holding off in trying to lead this group out, up and over these rooftops.
Absolutely, we're seeing some big numbers here. 5+ watts a kilo from some of these leading riders. Holding together reasonably well so far. We've sort of got a pretty select, fairly strong group by the looks of it. So these early ramps not doing enough to stretch this group out, holding together nicely. So it looks like it's going to be a real battle here for those points.
And these are those little ramps and then eases off. So we can see here back at 0% now, and then it will ramp up again. There's a section that I like when we get off the rooftops, and you're sort of on this sweeping left-hander, I should say, and you can sometimes get away there. I sort of went early in a race the other week and was able to get away a little bit. Twice now I've got away doing that. So as we come around off these rooftops, and then we come around to the left here, this is where you can actually start, and you see Annie dropping the burrito. You can see the finish line sort of sweeping around up to that top left, and you can really try and push here and get away, but you do need to save a little bit for that last little sprint at the finish line, or KOM line, I should say.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a little bit of a split happening here. We might be down to our sort of two key riders here. Benham from Vision has joined Annie at the front of the group and starting to put a little bit of a gap on the peloton. They've opened up, just getting out to 1 second now. So Annie responding to that attack, stretching it out again at 7 watts a kilo. They're going to be able to stay away, Josh. They're looking strong, these two.
So this is where this is the exact point where you can actually stay away. You've got enough in there. If you can kick again, just through these sort of like false banners, if you want to call them that, these neon light sort of bridges, keep pushing. It's just up there around the corner, and you can maybe hold that gap, hold that 2-3 seconds. When you see the reaction from the group and some orange numbers, you go again.
Yeah, we might be starting to see that here. We've lost a couple of riders here, but not too many. This group are holding together fairly well. Looks like we're going to have a nice group to contest the finish of this race, even after we get up the top of this KOM, as Benham once again pushes. We've got one last little section here, flat section before this sharp U-turn, and we get through the KOM banner. Benham versus Annie. Who's going to take it? Annie ramps it back up to 7 watts a kilo, kicking back. Bit of a few orange numbers. Annie versus Benham. Looks like Annie, the provocateur. Absolutely looks like she's taken it. So yeah, a few orange numbers at the back. We saw Mainink from WMZ kicking there to push up. So he may have done enough to get third on that one. I didn't quite catch who the minor placings went to on the KOM, but yeah, nice descent here, and looks like all the attacks, we didn't really stretch that group or do too much damage there, apart from a couple of riders who slipped off the back. So leading group of 16 riders are going to be contesting the finish for this one, as we've got 6 or 7 Ks now to go, the first half of which is all downhill. So looks like we'll clump back together here, and then yeah, bunch kick through the arcade for the win tonight, which is going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, and Annie taking some big points there. Looks like she took the fastest through the segment as well, 3:02. The other times I saw there were back at the 3:04s. So I'd be put my money on a 30-point haul for Annie through that segment.
Very nice points there for Team WMZ. We've got some stiff competition tonight. So Vision obviously have been prominent on the climb there and on a couple of the sprints. AHDR, I've got some numbers up here. So probably needing a good finish here, I think. You'd have to say, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm putting Vision in the box seat at the moment, but it's a hard one to pick. There's been so many teams and riders that have appeared at the front of the group and collecting points this race. Josh, have you got a feel? Who's your pick at the moment for the top of the leaderboard?
I'd say I think Vision have shown themselves twice now. I'm not sure where they were in that alleyway sprint, so they missed out. They may have missed out on any FTS points, fastest through the segment points. But yeah, and maybe Vision. I felt like I've just seen a lot of their jerseys.
Yeah,
I mean, not here. I mean, like, even here, what have they got? They've got 3 or 4 riders in that front group.
Yeah, a number of Vision names there. I'm just jumping back to Annie. It looks like, being a lighter weight rider, just struggling there on the descent and has lost contact with the bunch after that big effort to take the full 30 points.
She doesn't need
She
it
has. Yep. Annie's she's done for the night, dropping back now 6 seconds off the peloton. So we've got a group of 15 going for the finish line here. So who's left? Looks like Vision have got at least 3 riders. Team Aeropress
with 3.
Yeah, they've kind of been
3 or 4 riders there. Yeah.
Yeah, so Aero have been, well, I mean, they've got 2 Aero teams here. So Aeropress and Aerodynamics. Looks like we've got 2 of each. So they're going to be in amongst it. They sort of haven't been taking the big points, but they've been consistently, obviously here, just being in this front group, would have been collecting some points as well. So they're in the mix. And the AHDR ballers, so Ilya has held on here as well. Martin Tenham, actually, I'm not sure whether he's racing, which of the AHDR teams he's racing for tonight. So I'm not sure if he and Ilya are teammates or, eating each other's lunch here for AHDR.
Chris O'Halloran calling C. Jose for the win.
There we go. All right, we've got an early call here. We've got some inside knowledge coming from the chat, which is always good to see.
He did call earlier that Jose looks strong. So
yeah, a lot of respect for Cam Jose. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Look, we wrote her off too early. Believe it or not, she's found a way back on. Has Annie while we were chatting and
going back to the front.
You're gonna have to watch the replay to see what happened there, because I thought that gap looked like it was just going out and not coming back at all. But
I thought she definitely set up. Although right. Oh, good on her.
She's found a way back.
Wants some more points.
And once again, she's on the attack. So a little 1 second gap here. Annie off the front, looking like she might just be trying to go and stretch this one right out. I'm not sure what the strategy is here from WMZ. I mean, we thought that her night was done. That was the strategy. She was the pinch hitter for the KOM. Did her job there, but once again back again and causing havoc as always on that famous pink Tron.
There was a comment as well about her cadence. Watching Annie's cadence hurts my eyes.
Yeah, we have seen.
Have you ever seen Adam climb? That was from Snowy Pruitt.
Yeah, my little legs will be spinning a bit. I think up some of those pinches tonight. Yeah, nothing.
Why is Chris calling C Jose? What is his numbers?
Yep, you're gonna do the scope out.
I'm doing a quick. I can't find him or her.
Yeah, it was Cam Jose. So
okay,
like it's a him. Snowy getting some love on the chat now for being famous and getting a call out in the commentary. So some good fun. Some good fun on YouTube tonight. Couldn't stream on Facebook tonight. I don't know why. Restream and Facebook just refused to talk to each other tonight. So YouTube only. I think we're also on Twitch, Josh, but no one watches us on Twitch. So
yeah, Twitch is big. I jumped on Twitch because I was getting some call outs in a couple of races. But haven't worked out how to use it, to be honest.
We're too old for this stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
I'm still. Oh, here we go. Cameron Jose. Here we are. Let's have a look. Aussie rider. Oh, he's got a big FTP, 409, and only 80 kilos, so it's sort of my size.
There you go. So nice little call out from
15 seconds, only 11.67.
All
I
right, or
shouldn't say
maybe
only.
no,
I
it's
shouldn't say only. Yeah.
no, it's
Nice big 1 minute power. So maybe we'll see an early. Is he going to go here?
yeah. Well, as you say it, actually it's his teammate Davis from Aero Press who's going to throw down the first attack here. We mentioned this going through that arcade. It's a great place to launch a long attack, and Davis is taking the initiative with about 300-400 meters to go now.
He's just gonna get swamped around that
He's
corner.
absolutely going to get swamped here. Who have we got? Manic. We saw him coming from WMZ. Davis from Aero holding on.
Such a long way to go.
And that's our banner there. So I think it was Vision who got up and got the win there as we're heading back down into the general field. So we're going to miss some of the minor placings there. But Benham, I think it was Benham from Vision who we saw.
Yeah, I saw Benham there as well.
So not only can he climb, but Benham from Vision can sprint as well on that long sprint. So kicked off about 500 meters to go just as we exited the arcade. A few long-range attackers swallowed up, but really stretching out there. So I think...
on this is here we go on Zwift Power. I've got Chris Benham, Ian Manic from WMZ, Ryan Sparks from WMZ, taking the top three. Our first AHDR rider is Ilya, and he looks like he's down in 8th place.
All right, well, packed finish there. So going to be tight on the points. I mean, just gut feel, I'm going to go with Vision for the win there, with WMZ a close second and maybe Aero Press in third. I think AHDR sort of, obviously executed a really nice attack there on that second sprint, would have done well. It looked like they were just overshadowed by the other teams there, so I think I'd probably put the AHDR ballers in fourth, and we'll have to wait for the official results from WTRL to see. But exciting start to this league, this division, and we'll spread the love throughout the season, no doubt, and try and catch a few different grades racing, and hopefully get to the women's racing as well. So, but we'll be checking back in on these guys as the season goes on, and hopefully covering some multiple grades and some of the longer races. A little bit too much action going on tonight to jump on. So, thanks everyone for joining us for a short and sharp race. Only 35 minutes or so long. Nice call out from Snowy, who mentioned, not quite the thousands of viewers that GCN get, but a better broadcast for sure. So thanks, Snowy. Appreciate you tuning in.
Who's got the echo? Is it my echo or is it someone else? Is it Adam? I've got it. Antoine? Who's got the echo? And is it me or is it Adam?
Yeah, we'll have to watch that one back. Where we haven't done the audio setup for a couple of months now. Everything got a bit dusty, I think. So let us know if there's any issues, and we'll get them fixed up. It might just be a setting in OBS, because clever me, I managed to completely delete everything I had set up on OBS and had to redo the whole thing today. So I may have just forgotten to push a button or turn something on or off. So but thanks everyone for tuning in. Rob, regular #1 fan, thank you for tuning in again. Good luck in your first race.
Adam, it's you echoing, mate.
I've got the echo. All right, well, apologies for that. Thank you all for patience sticking with us for that. We'll have to figure out what's going on there after to play around with the settings I've got on OBS. But looking forward to racing tonight. I'm on in an hour and a half's time, so just about time to get out of broadcast kit, get into racing kit, and warm up the legs. And good luck tomorrow morning, Josh. I'm sure you do well.
Looking forward to it. Exciting. Good to be back, Adam. Thank you for putting it together again, and thank you for everyone jumping on. It's so exciting to be back again. I feel like life's returning to normal. But
Very good. All right, thanks everyone, and we will we'll catch you next week.